Hey everybody. Have you ever found yourself on a phone call with somebody that you love and trust and finding a moment where perhaps something bubbles up inside of you that maybe you're not so proud of? Maybe even feeling a little bit of shame around it. And it's getting kind of loud. And when you're in that conversation, you discover that by being transparent with somebody that you trust, you actually can find some relief and realize, particularly in my case, I wasn't alone. What was this not life-shattering, earth-shattering moment? It was around dust bunnies. Yeah, those little pieces of fuzz and fur that roam around, underneath beds and lurk in corners and all of that, in any room of the house or your apartment or your tiny house. You see, I had in my head an idea that because I was working from home so much more, and we all have that moment of kind of this, what did and didn't we do during COVID, kind of the whole lockdown thing of, tidying homes and things like that. Some people completely rearranged their lives, cleaned out their Christmas collections, all that kind of good stuff. Others of us were busier doing some other things. And it's funny because right now I've discovered there are several of my close friends. We're feeling this sense, and maybe this is you too, of really wanting to create some space. And it means looking in corners again, really looking in corners. And we've discovered a whole lot of dust bunnies. And I was feeling a little bit of, interestingly enough, some shame around that. And there were voices that were associated with that. Oh, I'm just not a good enough housekeeper. A lot of not enoughness and some shame and some blame, right? Well, here's the joy of when you have a moment like this, like I did. Now, it just happened to be around dust bunnies. Could it be any number of things? That when you share it with a trusted friend, you just kind of, let the light of day shine in the dark corner. That you find out sometimes that you're not alone, and that was my experience. And let me just say how grateful I am for it. Because those voices that had started to spin in my head, all of a sudden started to quiet down. And it's funny, I was talking to a colleague the other day about things like dust bunnies. And realizing that oftentimes, I know in my life, and maybe you've experienced this in yours, that just the energy we spin up around an activity or something we know we're meant to do, but just haven't gotten to it yet, can actually be way more than the actual activity itself. Could be something like that, just scheduling a routine test, or a visit to the dentist, or rebalancing the budget. Or getting the car serviced, or right? And maybe it's gone on for long enough, delayed for long enough that we've spun a story about it, and it's starting to kind of nibble at the edges of us. And again, it's taking up way more energy just thinking about the doggone thing than getting the doggone thing done. Does that feel like any of you? Well, if that does, I'd like to share a couple of things. First and foremost, you're not alone. Whatever it is, you're not alone. Dust bunnies or the dentist, you're not alone. 2, I'd like to invite you to help move through this space as I did. Share it with somebody. Even if it seems silly, share it with somebody. If it's on your mind, if it's on your heart. Oh, I've been delaying having my teeth cleaned or whatever, right? Let somebody know. And realize that in all likelihood, they have had something similar to that as well. And then 3, I invite you to notice what happens when you actually turn the light into the dark corners and just see it for what it really is. And then here's the great opportunity to release the energy around it. Go do it. Take the steps. Look at the activity. Make a decision to get it into your calendar, book the appointment, or pull out the Swiffer sheets or whatever they are, and make an appointment with yourself and go do it. Book the appointment, get out the Swiffer sheets. Take the car for a tune-up, whatever you need. And notice how much better you feel. Because much like the dust bunnies meeting the Swiffer, when we clear out the old stuff, we make room for new. We make it welcome, and we can even offer some expectancy around it. Me and the Swiffer, I get that out of there, and boy, I know that I am making welcome new energy in the room that I'm in. Hey, maybe I'll even go buy a new bedspread. Ooh. And just feel so much better. I know I'm feeling so much better in the space. It's welcoming and expecting the goodness to come to us because the activity's done. So that's the idea for this week. Go have an opportunity, if you like, to discover your internal dust bunnies, literal or metaphorical. Take some action, clear some space out for yourself for the new, the evolving that's coming to all of us, and coming to all of us. It seems particularly loud right now. And I'd love to hear what your dust bunny story is. Please feel free to reach out to me, Nancy, at wholeheartevolution.com. Would love to hear your story. And if you'd love some more dust bunny busting activities and opportunities, let me know that as well. So go out, make merry, grab a Swiffer sheet, and go do it to it. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.